Welcome to the Wed Pro podcast, the podcast for Wed Pros no matter their stage. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, and this is the Wed Pro podcast. Hey, welcome back to part 2 of this reset series. If you have not listened to part 1 yet, go back and do that first, because that is where we got clear on direction, what you want more of, and what you are done with. So today is the practical part. This is where we take all of that thinking that we did in episode 1 and turn it into a 90-day plan you can actually follow, even when you're busy, tired, or in the middle of engagement season, wedding season. It doesn't matter what season, we are going to have a plan. So grab that notebook again, grab that piece of paper, that envelope that you wrote on the back of, and let's get cracking. Worth saying that this is not about creating a perfect plan, because nothing is ever perfect. It's about creating a usable one. And just like last week, if you get to the end and think, oh gosh, I really love this, but I need help sticking to it, or I need to refine it further, or I'm feeling really lost or overwhelmed, DM us on Instagram the word WedPro and we will have a chat. Our Instagram handle is wedding_business_hub. Right, before we get into these steps, I want to explain why we work in 90-day blocks. Most wedding suppliers plan in years, and then they feel super overwhelmed, or they plan week to week and they feel super reactive. We found that 90 days is the sweet spot. It's long enough to see progress, yet short enough to stay focused and aligned. And it's also realistic enough to fit around real life and real weddings as well. Momentum is built in the next 90 days, not the next year. Are we ready to dive in? So we want a fresh page. And I want you to write at the top of this page, 2026 revenue target. This number should do 3 things for you. It should support your life, feel achievable, and not rely on you running yourself to the ground. And I want you to sit with it for a moment. And if your brain jumps straight to that number feels too big or that number feels too small, that's okay. We're not locking anything in stone here. We are sense checking. Now I want you to ask yourself, roughly how many bookings does this number represent for you? And when you write that number, what does that say about your pricing? It doesn't have to be detailed maths, it is more about alignment. And if the number only works if you say yes to everything, that probably indicates that that is not the right number for you. If that number supports the business you described in part 1 of this series, you are along the right track. And there's one more question that matters a lot in the wedding world, right? By the end of 2026, how many wedding bookings do you want to have already secured for 2027? This is kind of your safety net. This is what stops the panic when inquiries slow. And here's a quick example for you. We worked with a wedding supplier, was always feeling stressed, even in the busy years, not because they were not earning, because there was no visibility ahead. Once they set a clear goal for future bookings, not just this year, their decisions changed. They stopped chasing everything. They focused on work that filled the diary earlier, and the stress really eased for them, even before the money changed. And this is why this question matters a lot. So now we have that, I want us to zoom out slightly. And I want you to split 2026 into 4 quarters. For each quarter, we want to write one clear focus. And we want one line for each quarter. If you start listing tasks, you need to stop. That's direction, not detail. So examples here just to help you think. 1 quarter focused on filling the diary, 1 on pricing or packages, 1 on relationships or maybe systems, and 1 on maintaining momentum and reviewing things. There is no right order. You're not locking yourself in. You're giving your year some shape and direction, so you're not trying to fix everything at once, because that is when it becomes overwhelming. Right, now we're going to zoom right in. So my next 90 days. I want you to write one clear goal. Just one. It should directly support your revenue, bookings, or your visibility. And a couple of examples here is you want to book a certain amount of weddings. You want to improve your quality. Maybe it's get consistent in one visible social media channel. Maybe you want to build one strong relationship stream. If you are unsure, ask yourself, if this was the only thing I improved in the next 90 days, would my business move forward? If the answer is yes, this is the right goal. If it's no, go back, re-listen to this, and try again. So now we're going to look at 3 priorities only. Under that 90-day goal, write 3 priorities. Only 3. These are not tasks, these are areas of focus. A few examples here are improve inquiry process, follow up properly and consistently, get visible in one specific place, refine pricing or packaging, maybe strengthen one key relationship channel. If something does not clearly support your goal, it doesn't go here, right? That doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's not a priority for you right now. And if you've managed to list more than 3, you probably need to pause and ask and work out which ones are actually going to make the biggest difference here. Now, we're going to make this a bit more real. For each priority, ask yourself, what has to happen most weeks for this to move forward? Those things are your weekly non-negotiables. These are the small, repeatable actions, not big, dramatic moves, the kind of things you can do even when you're tired. Example, a weekly follow-up block. So where you're blocking that time in your calendar. 1 venue or planner messages per week. 2 focused visibility sessions. 30 minutes reviewing my inquiries and replies. Be honest, choose what you can actually sustain as well. There's no point writing these things if it's not going to be sustainable to you. And it's really worth remembering that consistency beats intensity every time. We had a wedding planner whose goals were better inquiries. Her priorities were inquiry process, follow-up, and 1 visibility channel. Her weekly non-negotiable for this was a Friday follow-up block. And within a few months, she was spending less time on the wrong leads and more time getting bookings, which is what we want. You know, it could be a venue that wanted more weekly weddings. Their priority might be strengthen relationships. For their weekly non-negotiable, that would be 1 supplier touch point a week. These are the things that are going to make the difference. It might feel and sound quite simple, but it doesn't have to mean that it's easy or it's the wrong thing to do. We normally find that doubling down on the simpler things are the things that make the most impact. It's just got to be doable. Now, look at the plan that you've written down, because believe it or not, this is a plan, and ask yourself, and this is going to be a really powerful move. Ask yourself, what is the first thing I am going to do in the next 7 days? Pick something. It's not going to be the biggest thing. It's got to be the clearest thing. And I want you to look at your diary and book time in that diary for this to happen. Send the message that you have been avoiding. Make the decision that you have been delaying. And set something up so next week is easier. If it feels vague, make it smaller. If it feels hard, make it smaller. If it feels frustrating, look how we can break it down into even smaller steps. Progress comes from starting, not from always winning straight away. You've just got to take that first leap. And before we finish, I just really want to say this. You don't need to action everything at once. You just need to feel motivated every single day to take a step forward. And when things feel a little bit hard, just come back to this plan that you've written down to help you along the way. The next 90 days are about consistency, not intensity. And if you want to help bring in this plan to life, DM us on Instagram at wedding_business_hub. DM us the word WedPro. Tell us your goal. Let's have a chat and we can help you tighten it and move your business forward. You have done the thinking. Now it's about letting that momentum build. I will see you on the next episode. Enjoy your week. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wed Pro podcast. Full transcribes of this episode, plus every other episode we have done, are available at www.theweddingbusinesshub.com/blogs. Thanks so much for listening. If you do have any questions about this episode or anything else at all, you can email us at info@theweddingbusinesshub.com. And if you are loving our episodes, which I know you are, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button so you can stay updated with any new episodes that land. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.